Today, what we're going to do is unpack, guys. Today, for those of you listening, what we're going to do today is we're going to unpack a really an interesting way for you to be able to immediately go out and apply for your business right now. Like at the end of this session, at the end of this interview with Michael, you can go out and apply this and actually be getting business while still continuing to attend the Get Listing Summit. What Michael and I are going to break down, what Michael's going to break down, and I'm going to ask him a lot of questions about it, is how we can use social media to find out which of our friends want to buy a home or sell a home with us and which ones are never planning to do that. But it isn't just surface level. Michael, is one of the things we're going to do is we're actually going to break down the ideal Facebook post that we can put up that will actually do this for us while we're at the summit, while we're busy, while we're asleep. So, Michael, let me start here. A lot of people hear about social media. They want to go use social media. There's a lot of books on social media marketing. And very quickly, they just fizzle out and they don't get anywhere with social media, right? It doesn't work. Facebook, it's a place for, cat pictures and baby pictures, cat videos and baby pictures. And I know that a lot of people have that perception. First, before we get into the tactical stuff about how to do the Facebook post and we give them what we want them to do right now before as soon as the session ends, first, let's just talk about the wrong approach. What are the common mistakes that agents make when they're trying to use social media for their business?
That's a great question. The first thing is people don't friend you to see you advertise your listings, right? What they want to know is they want to know the person behind the realtor. And I think a lot of realtors forget that. They think that social media is a tool to get business. And that is not the primary reason for social media. It's a cocktail party. And there's nothing like a cocktail party and you going around talking about your latest listing. You would never do that. So the way to look at it is there's two ways to look at it. One is we need to increase engagement. One of the things that you can use your Facebook friends for is surveying and finding out what they like, what they really want. You can find out more about them. You can find out more about what you should be doing as a professional. So asking great questions and asking questions that are simple for them to answer is not only good for you to find out more information, but it's also good for upping what's your Facebook score. Essentially, a Facebook score, your engagement score, is basically how likely are people to see your post. Well, if you're just posting and nobody's liking it or commenting it, and you're not going to anybody else's pages to like and comment, then your what's called an edge rank score, I don't want to make this too technical, but your edge rank score is really your score for engagement, is going to be really low. So even if you posted the most awesome post in the history of the world, nobody would see it. It just wouldn't show up on everybody else's wall or feed. But if you have high engagement, if you're going and saying happy birthday, or you're saying congratulations, or you're going to other people's pages just to say, hey, I'm thinking about you, I hope you have a great day, and you're posting posts that gets lots of likes and comments, then your edge rank score goes up. And when you post something like what we're going to share here in a second, then all of a sudden you get lots of feedback from it. The thing that we're going to show you today, literally this week, Nevin Hollett, an agent out of Canada, shared this post and got 104 comments, and he is still working on landing appointments and trying to figure out when to place appointments from this one post that we're going to share today. One post.
Wow.
Yeah. His isn't even the record. We've had people with over 170 comments and over 50 appointments. Some of those appointments were for outgoing referrals to other places in the country, but those are still appointments. Those are still opportunities. You could very likely get 10 to 100 opportunities with this one post, and that's no BS. I try to under-promise, over-deliver, but that's what the research shows. That's what our experience shows. We've had over 1,500 people share this post, and we have over 10,000 comments that have been generated. So it's a powerful. But I have to tell you, just like you said, is if you've just been posting your listings and just looking at it as another place to advertise your listings, then you're not going to get these opportunities. The thing is just be real, share on there and ask lots of questions. I think that's, I've always said the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. Social media is a fantastic place to practice your questioning skill.
I like that. So let's dive right in then. Actually, before we do, you're saying that it's important to first be engaged in in your Facebook if you want it to work. So that then when you do make a post, the one that we're going to explain, you're going to explain, and we're going to break down, it'll work a lot more effectively because you'll be more engaged. The Facebook algorithm will basically see that you're getting more engagement, you engage more often. So then when you post something, it just gets more organic reach to your friends and your connections.
100%. So I'll give you an example, right? So this wasn't necessarily part of what we had prepared, but I feel the urge and I'm compelled to share this. Like, who makes the best pizza in Kansas City? Who does the best barbecue in Kansas City? Like, that is a question I asked that I got over 150 comments on, right? Is who's the best barbecue restaurant in Kansas City, which is up for, there's people that probably duked it out, right? Over what they put. It's like religion, politics, and barbecue, right? In Kansas City. So it's one of those where, so posting that does two things. One is you actually are going to be giving this suggestion to relocation or people who come into town, right? One of the questions that people really want to know is who makes the best pizza in town. It's one of the highest searched things in Google. So not only do you find out the answer, number two is you might never have been to the place that makes the best pizza or has the best barbecue. And I have to tell you, I actually found out about a restaurant, Q39, in Kansas City that I had never been to. I went to Q39, and it was off the charts, fantastic barbecue. And I wouldn't have known about it if I had not asked this question. And honestly, I was just asking the question for curiosity and to have some fun, right? But I actually got value out of it. So boom, all these people are posting. Well, the next time I post, all those people who posted about barbecue or about pizza are going to see my post, which happens to be about real estate or about business.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, another great strategy on that is honestly pick five, right? We call it the high five. Pick five people. Just pick five people. Go to their Facebook and just write something nice. Not a birthday. Don't make it a birthday, right? If you want to do the birthdays, great. Do it. You and 400 other people will do it, right? But just pick five people and go to their Facebook and post something that you're appreciative about them. Or you make a comment on a kid's thing, or make a comment on something they just achieved. Just 5 a day. And it will be amazed, A, how that changes your mindset, and B, how you can grow your army of ambassadors who speak highly of you and refer you willingly.
I love that. So ask questions, ask just simple little questions that people can answer and also get in a debate over. And obviously local-based questions help. And then also pick five. Go to 5 of your friends or connections and just leave a comment of appreciation on something they have on their wall.
That's right.
Love it. Okay. And that's a great way to start driving more engagement and actually create kind of showing that you're engaged, so then the Facebook algorithm actually gives you more engagement for your posts when you post them. Got it. Okay. So now let's go into breaking down how to actually write up this magnetic Facebook post that you're telling everybody about, where you can talk about real estate and people actually want to engage with it.
Yeah. So one thing is we're going to talk about it, and some people are going to maybe miss a thing or have questions about it or whatever. I have a way for people to actually get the notes that I'm using for this. And then also we're going to do the Great Choice later, which also incorporates a really powerful social media Facebook post and Twitter post. But if they want it, they can text message us. My team is standing by right now at 470-428-7777. That's 470-428-7777. If they just text message the message, get listings, all one word. So just text get listings, GETLISTINGS, to 470-428-7777. We will actually get you the notes that I'm using for today, so they can actually have the exact Facebook post, and then they can copy and paste. They can do whatever, right?
Perfect.
They can do whatever they want.
Awesome. Awesome.
So the first thing that makes a really good and powerful Facebook post that generates listings or generates any type of engagement is a headline. We live in the 7-second generation. People are looking through their wall, and if it doesn't grab their attention in 7 seconds or less, they're on to the next post. So the title that I use, and anytime you use a headline on a Facebook post, and I use headlines all the time, and if people here are Facebook friends with me, they see this all the time. I use brackets, parentheses, or I'm going to call them squiggly brackets. I'm sure they have a better name than that. But some type of bracket around my headline, right? Another thing that you can do is use a hashtag, right? Hashtag, and then whatever you want to say, because Facebook and social media will bold in a lot of cases. It doesn't always work on mobile, but they will bold that word, and it treats it as a headline. So you can do one of two things right off the bat, and we're building this post. So the first thing is quick question, and then at the end of that, I have a question mark. So my title of this would either be hashtag quick question, all is one word with a question mark at the end of it, or using parentheses or squiggly brackets or block brackets. In between there, I would have quick question with a question mark. Now, quick question with a question mark. Question mark is kind of redundant, but what it does is it engages people right off the bat, right? Okay. So literally, it's quick question. You have time. It's essentially saying, do you have time for a quick question?
Okay.
So right off the bat, we're gonna get their attention, honestly, and that's what that does. Now, the next phrase is very, very important, and it's genuinely curious here, or I'm just curious, or hey, just curious. Something about the word of curious, and also genuinely curious here lets them know that you're serious, right? Curious equals serious. So genuinely curious here, comma, and then I'm going to go to exactly what I want them to think, right? Genuinely curious here, comma, and please think about the home you currently live in. I want them thinking about their residential property. I'm not looking for rental property. I'm not looking for investment property. I want residential property, and honestly, that's what my entire team was built on. Was we handled residential real estate. We didn't work with investors. We didn't work with that. We worked specifically with residential. So, and please think about the home you currently live in. Okay, comma. And then we get to the thermometer script, quite honestly. One of the best scripts in the world is using a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 scale. So we're going to go to the next thing. So I'm going to start with genuinely curious here, comma, and please think about the home you currently live in, comma, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being, and this is in quotes, not selling now, no way. Now, I want you to know that phrase has changed probably 50 times in the last 2 years. We've tweaked that. We're doing our research. And what we found is not selling now, no way, is the language of the consumer. I'm not selling now, no way, right? So I've said not selling. I've said never selling. I've said it's not selling now, no way, in quotes. So that's 1, with 1 being not selling now, no way, and 10 being would sell my home today, exclamation, and today is in all caps. All right. So what I've done is I've set the table. I've set the tone, right? Now I want to go to the call to action. So the next part of this is, all right, where do you find yourself on that scale? Question mark. So and I know I'm being redundant, but I also know they can't see me, right? Or they can't see what I'm telling them to do. So that's why I keep repeating this. The high D's in the audience are, okay, give me the next part already. But actually, I'm repeating it for them, just so you know that. So headline, quick question, question mark. Genuinely curious here, and please think about the home you currently live in, comma, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not selling, no way, and 10 being would sell my home today, where do you find yourself on that scale? Question mark. Then in parentheses, I put, please just answer a number. For any specific questions, comma, please private message me. Close parentheses. Right? And this has happened. I've had people who actually had realtors seriously come over on somebody else's Facebook post, and try to steal a listing opportunity from another person. And so, I mean, yeah, so sad, right? But, sometimes you fish for shark, you get shark. But here's the thing. Okay. So in parentheses, please just answer a number. For any specific questions, please private message me, close parentheses. Now, I go for the call to action again. What's, all caps, your number, question mark. What's your number? So notice I'm asking them to put a number again. And then, so that's the post, right? So quick question, question mark, in parentheses or with a hashtag, genuinely curious here, and please think about the home you currently live in, comma, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not selling now, no way, and 10 being would sell my home today, exclamation, all caps. Where do you find yourself on that scale? Please just answer a number. For any specific questions, comma, please private message me, close parentheses. What's your number? Question mark. That's the post.
Okay. Now and thank you for that breakdown. That's actually a very detailed breakdown. I can tell a lot of the stuff you've got going on there in terms of drawing people in, the elements you have for drawing people in and making it simple. Let me ask you this: when somebody responds with a 7 or higher, which I'm assuming is going to be a good number, what do you coach and advise and train for how the agent should follow up?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you both of those, right? If they give less than 10, or, I mean, we've had people give 12 as their answer, right? I mean, they're like super ready to sell. So I'm going to give, if they give less than 10, and I'm going to give, what you would say if it's 10 or more. Now, let me ask you real quick, Andre, any comments or ahas or questions about the building of the actual Facebook post?
For me personally, no. But the thing is that I've done a lot of copywriting, so for me, it resonates with me certainly. I think that what I would highlight for people, and it's funny that I'm using the word highlight, is the power of actually the headline. And to remind people that something that stands out. When I posted ads on Craigslist a lot, and I used to do a lot of ads on Craigslist when I was a real estate agent, the thing that I found that really, really worked to get and significantly increase the number of clicks I would get on my posts, which then resulted in more people seeing them, more people calling on them, is in a subject line. And you guys have probably seen this when you go on Craigslist, that I put a lot of brackets and squiggly marks and stuff around my subject lines, my titles on my Craigslist posts.
That's right.
So that they would stand out on Craigslist. That stuff works even in Facebook. And like Michael said earlier in the session, every one of these things seems like a small little tweak, but here's the deal.
That's right.
When you take them all together and stack them on top of each other, it makes a significantly different result. I see so often people see a template or they hear a script and then they try to modify it to their version and they wonder why it doesn't work. And the reason is because you think that it's all random, but it's not. So the biggest thing that I would want to highlight is how you heard Michael describe it is how you need to go post it and do it. And again, if you want the exact, if you haven't been able to keep up on notes, you can re-listen to this session. Otherwise, you can text 470-428 7777, like Michael told you, and his team is standing by to, and just use one word, get listings, all one word, and Michael's team will send you all the notes for this. But that's what I would really recommend, is you guys really or I would advise that you stick to exactly how Michael broke it down.
And Andre, I appreciate you pointing that out, because I am a huge fan of freedom and flexibility and making things your own, right? But I'm also a stronger fan of research, and what research has proven is that every word is important, every symbol is important, a space is important, an ellipsis is very important. In fact, I consider the ellipsis, 3 periods, as the most powerful, strongest closing, call to action of all time, right? People cannot see that ellipsis without wanting to fill in the blank, without finishing the sentence.
Right.
So I appreciate it. And I was very specific in my instructions on this post. But within those, the specificity, if you will, are also lessons of generality, right? Of using the headline, of using phrases like genuinely curious here, or I really want to know, or I need some help here. Using the words need some help here, for those of you that have been on my Facebook, is listen, I'm great at helping, and I used to struggle with like getting help and asking for help, but now I say, need some help here. I want to name my podcast, right? My podcast name would be a completely different name if it wasn't for my Facebook friends, my Catalyst coaching, my Platinum private coaching, my Accelerate. The people that know me have actually created the name for my podcast, and I wouldn't have got that without Facebook, right? Without being genuinely curious.
Let me jump in there, and yes, I agree with that. And let me jump in there. Actually, you have a quote that's become a bit famous, and it's that success. And correct me if I'm wrong, but success is not. I wrote down, a success is not a 180-degree turn. It's a 1%. It's a 1% degree tweak. It's a 1 degree tweak. It's not a 180-degree turn. It's a 1 degree tweak. Is that right?
Yeah. Success is not a 180-degree turn. Success is a 1 degree tweak, and it is. Especially in real estate. I know realtors are the ones that are flocking to this. You have thousands upon thousands of people who have registered for this event. Kudos to you. And you know what? They're going to be. In real estate, we're always thrown these new ideas, these shiny objects. The squirrel, and a lot of agents are seriously just sitting there, taking 180-degree turns, trying to chase Zillow leads, or trying to do Realtor.com leads, or trying to do both, or trying to do referrals, but you show me the agent who picks an avenue, picks a road, picks a path, and just knows that, all right, today, I'm going to just do it 1 degree better than I did it yesterday. And then 1 degree. It's just a 1 degree tweak. It really is. And
that's going to be the name of your podcast, right? Probably. That is coming up soon, is the 1 degree tweak.
That's right. The 1 degree tweak with Michael J. Mayer. And honestly, it wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't. But people are like, well, the 1 degree tweak, it seems so doable. It's completely unique. It's, and honestly, I love it because it opens me up to interview anybody.
Sure.
I could interview anybody. And I mean, these successful people, a lot of times it comes down to something or someone that was their 1 degree tweak. And I can't wait to get down into that so that other people can stay the path and stay on, and just know that it's little successes every day that make the big difference versus trying to make a radical change in one day.
I agree with that. And I could speak a lot to them myself and share, but we're here to learn from you. But I would definitely echo everything you just said and agree with it. And the reason I brought that up is the quote is because what we're talking about here is the website post, the Facebook post. It has gone through a process of many 1 degree tweaks to get where it's at. You know what I mean? And that's why I brought that up, because I want everybody to realize that the significance and importance of everything in that post, it comes down to 1 degree. And if you tweak it by 1 degree in a wrong direction and don't know that you're doing it, you might not get the same results. So do it the way you heard it.
I'll give you an example. Yeah, exactly. So I flew to Kansas City recently for a playoff game, and they'll give me a hard time. They lost, right? But when I flew in, it was all about the ice storm, right? They're Snowmageddon and Ice-mageddon, and they were calling it all these different things. So when I landed and I started driving in my rental car, which I got a 4-wheel drive just in case it was Ice-mageddon, right, or Snowmageddon. Well, the temperature was 33 degrees, right? So when I'm driving, the little thing and 33 degrees. Well, if it had been 32, the rain would not have just been rain, right? The rain would have been ice. But as I drove the entire time, it hung at 33 degrees. It went 33 degrees, 34 degrees, 33 degrees. And then during the game that night, it was 33, 34, 35 degrees. But 1 degree cooler, and the entire city would have been shut down, right? What was, just cold and rainy would have been ice and extremely dangerous. Like, maybe even deaths would have occurred. Hopefully not. But you know what? When there's ice, there's wrecks, and sometimes when there's wrecks, there's fatalities. So the 1 degree matters, right? And you're
Right.
exactly right. So it is, the specificity does matter. So on this post, we're going to get people who put a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to know, how do we follow up? What's the next stop?
Right. That's exactly where I was
have to tell
going.
you,
And let's use some specificity for that too.
yeah, and exactly. So that I have to say that we have to be, we have to know what our goal is when we post this. Our goal is appointments. That should be our goal with this post, right? Is take this opportunity. It's amazing to me that you can kind of lead a realtor to water, but you can't make them drink, so to speak, right?
Right.
And I want everybody to know that listen, I've had people who post this get 50 comments, get 7 tens, and there's no reply to the 10s even. That's like, hey, please list my house. And the agent never replied, never responded. So don't be that agent. Be the agent who takes a 6 and lists their house by using really good, welcoming, attracting, magnetic language, right?
Let alone a 7, 8,
that's
9,
the
or
first-
10.
Yeah. Just so you know, I've had somebody who put a 2 turn into
Well,
a
of course
listing.
you did. Well, of course you did.
Well, that's what a lot of people think. And here's the thing. There might have been others of my coaching clients or other people who have done that. I haven't heard the story yet. And I'll tell you what. I said, okay, what would it take to make you a 10? Okay, so let's go to the answers, and then I'll talk about the 2 to 10 story.
Okay.
And we'll go. And then I have a couple of interesting things about this Facebook post where you can leverage, right? So leveraging social media is what we're doing now. But what if we could leverage people to leverage social media for us and our business? And that's what I'll show you next. All right. So if they say anything less than a 10, which is going to happen, I mean, even if it's a 1, even if it's a 7, even if it's a 9, you're going to comment the same thing. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, I love systems. I love it that we can do the same thing every time, and it gets us the result we want. So the thing is we're going to tag, right? We're going to tag them in a comment. So if they say 7, and let's say the name is Jeremy. Jeremy posts and says 7. I'm going to comment right after Jeremy's post, and I'm going to say, Jeremy, I'm going to start typing in Jeremy. His name's going to pop up. His full name's going to pop up. I'm going to delete his last name. So it just says Jeremy, and then I'm going to hit comma. What would it take to make you a 10? What would it take to make you a 10? So it's Jeremy, comma. What would it take to make you a 10? Now, if you can also put Jeremy, comma, what would it take to make this a 10? You can also say, what would it take to make your situation a 10? Question mark, right? So what you put on, I like make you a 10 because it makes it more personal. And as you and I both know from copywriting, the word you is 10 times more powerful than a generic statement, right? So, so that's what you would say if they say anything less than a 10.
Okay.
A warning here is, let's say you post this and then you are listening to a great speaker like a Bob Corcoran or a Aaron Wittenstein or Tristan Almeida, who, any of the other great speakers you have on Get Listings Now, is you go back and check it, and you have 7 people who have posted. They posted a 1, a 3, a 7, a 1, a 5. Okay, all these under 10. Do not tag all of them in one post and say, what would it take to make you a 10? Imagine that you are having 7 different conversations in a cocktail reception or at a cocktail party versus trying to lump them in lazily. Honest, we do that because we're lazy. We need to realize that we're going to have a one-on-one conversation with every single person who posts on this. So if I have all these different posts, I'm going to go to each one of those and reply, tagging their name and saying, what would it take to make you a 10? And some people are like, well, does that look disingenuous if you say the same thing to 7? And the answer is no, because you want to know, right? It would be disingenuous if you didn't care, but you do care. You really want to know, what would it take for them to sell their house? And that's what you're finding out by posting this. So that's, any questions on what to say if it's less than 10? Or any highlight or questions or anything like that?
No, I like that you broke down to make it separate conversations and not make it a group text. Just out of curiosity, let me ask you this. Why do you delete the last name when you're tagging them?
It makes it look more personal. It makes it more familiar. What we want to do is the more familiar, what I'm doing is you're going to be very familiar with this. I'm not sure if I can have this conversation with a lot of people. In Cialdini's book, Influence, he talks about 6 powers of influence, right? One of those is like. What I'm doing is I'm utilizing that power of influence is like, right? Somebody that says Michael Mayer is different to me than somebody who calls me Michael. And then there's that dork who calls me Mike. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing, right? It's so it's familiar. It makes it more familiar. It makes it more personal. Makes it more private. So that's what I'm looking for there.
So let's say we're communicating with Jeremy, and you've shortened the last name, and you've gotten rid of the last name. So you've put in start typing in Jeremy. It's gonna Facebook's gonna auto-populate the tag. You're gonna then just backspace to the first name and hit enter, comma, and the rest of the comment.
Comma. Yep.
Yeah. Comma. Yep. And the rest of the question. What would it take to make you a 10? Now let's say Jeremy responds to that thread, but responds to that thread. By the way, when somebody leaves that comment, let's say Jeremy says 7, right? And you go to comment back to him. Are you doing it on the thread in general, or are you hitting that reply under his specific comment, and you're having the rest of the conversation with him under as a thread, as a sub thread to his post?
Yeah. So, good question. The fact of it is, we found it doesn't matter a whole lot.
Okay. Got it.
But if I'm new at this, then I'm going to comment on my own comment, right? So I'm going to comment below theirs, right? If you've only got 7, then I would comment. If you've got 7 waiting for you there, then I'm going to hit reply, right? Because it actually auto-populates their name for you, and it just saves you a little time.
Got it. Okay. The next question then is that, let's say, so Jeremy says 7, I reply with my tagged comment with his name in it, my question. Then he replies to my comment with whatever he says. He might say, well, if I could sell it for $300,000, right? Or whatever. Maybe he says the dream price is his reply. When I reply back to that, and now I'm in conversation, do I keep tagging him in every one of my replies? Do I keep tagging his first name in every one of my replies, or just that first one?
Yeah, first name. Keep tagging his first name. There are going to be some things, where it just doesn't make sense, maybe to continue to repeat it, But I would tag their name probably 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And then come off of it if you had to. But I have to tell you, you're going to get to a point of where it makes sense to stop, and you're also going to get to the point where it makes sense to go to a private message.
Sure.
So I think, if they come back and say, I need to clean up the garage, right? So then you're going to say,
let me come over and help.
clean your garage. Yeah.
So we can list it.
I mean, something like that, right? Hey, I've got people who can do that, right?
I'm going to be right there.
Yeah, I think, and you get it, Andre. I mean, but it's like some, I think, not, I want to give the benefit of the doubt, but I think there's some agents that would just stop with that and go, oh, I guess he's not interested because he has to clean the garage. I want everybody on here. I want you to be like private investigators, right? And the way to figure out the mystery is by getting the listing, right? So it's like, okay, so if you cleaned your garage, you put your home up for sale. That's the question I would ask, right? Because he said it, and at that point it's like yes or no. And if he says yes, then I would say, Jeremy, I've got a PM for you that may help this happen, and whatever, right?
Sure.
We may be able to get more for your house, and you may never have to clean the garage, right? And then so he may say no, even then I would okay. So what would it take?
Right.
If let's say the garage was
just have a playful banter
overcoming objections.
Yeah, but what I'm hearing from
playful
you too is because
yeah.
it's in the social environment, everybody else is reading it, make it playful and fun, so that if other people engage with you, they're not going to feel like they're getting sold to. They're going to feel like they're just having a conversation with you in a playful, fun conversation.
Exactly. And then there's going to be people who get serious with it, and they're like message. Me.
Yeah, go to private message
in March, and it's like, and I have to tell you, I've even said, I'm sending you a private message right now, and then I've deleted that reply or that comment or whatever it may be.
Got it. Okay. Let me ask you this, just for those who aren't aware, why are you tagging their names in the responses?
Okay, great question. Well, first of all, out of necessity, if you have a lot of posts, another person's not going to be able to find your comment, right? And they're going to go, who the heck did he comment to? But here's the other thing. When you tag their name, it shows up in their notifications. And please know this, is that if you have 7 posts on there or 7 comments, your friend who commented isn't going to read the other 6, most likely.
Right.
They're only interested in that little conversation of their world that is you and them talking. In many ways, I mean, people will disclose very private things to me on that, within that strand of Facebook, because it does feel like, I mean, we're just having a one-on-one conversation. So sometimes you got to delete or take it to a private message or whatever it may be. But, then you take it to a private message, and please remember, your job is to get an appointment, go to the house, meet with them, whatever. And some are like, well, maybe they aren't. Listen, go to the house, and at that point, you should be able to figure out, or get them on a phone and go through your pre-listing questionnaire at the very least, right? It's good practice if nothing else. But secondly, is just by asking those questions, sometimes they just want to list.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you this. Let me ask this. Actually, let me just highlight this. I want to make sure people don't miss this. 1, you're going in with the intention of trying to get an appointment with everybody in one way or another. But 2, this is what I heard you say that, you didn't, I don't know if I heard you exactly say it, but I want to make sure that we drive this point home. No matter what number they give in their response, you are responding to every single person who comments.
That's right.
Right. I want to highlight.
Andre, here's the other thing.
Don't even run over a 0.
That's right. Yeah, you won't get very many zeros because you set the scales 1 to 10. But I want you to know that. So having done this now with so many agents, we get some special situations, instances that, okay, what about the buyer who just bought a new home with you and they put 1, right? Listen, you got to use your own common sense here, right? You're not necessarily going to say, what would it take to make you a 10? No, what you say is, oh my God, I'm glad you love your home. It was so fun working with you, right? And just let it be at that.
Right.
So, we're going to have to use our head a little bit, but in general, yeah, we want to know what they're, how motivated they are to sell, which leads us to the people that say 10, right? Or
yeah.
11,
what do we respond?
I literally just
10 or more.
Yeah, Nevin Nevin wrote a 12. Nevin had a 12 on his. So once again, tagging their name, start typing their name, backspace their last name off, hit comma, so that it deletes off the last name. And then, is your home on the market now? Question mark. Right? If they say 10 or 11 or 12, that means they're selling their home today or want to, right? So is your home on the market now? Question mark. If so, tell us about it. Dash. Okay. So is your home on the market now? Question mark. If so, tell us about it. Dash. In today's market, comma, we have more buyers than houses to show them! Exclamation mark. Then I go to the next step. It's if not, let's talk. Right? Is your home on the market now? If so, so we need to go to the flow chart, right? Is your home on the market now? We're going to get two answers, yes or no. If so, tell us about it. In today's market, we have more buyers than houses to show them! Exclamation mark. Now, if not, let's talk, right? So that's our response.
If not, let's talk.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. ...
I have an exclamation mark, but ... would be great.
Got it. Okay. Very cool. And if they say yes, then obviously that's already somebody else is listening. If they say no, then obviously you want to be talking to them as fast as possible.
Yeah, if they say yes, many times they'll link up with a agent's website or a realtor.com link or Zillow link or something like that, or a for sale by owner link, whatever it may be. A lot of times they'll type in some type of URL. But honestly, I mean, and isn't it great to know that they wouldn't list with you, right?
Sure.
So I think that's one thing. And then the second thing is that many times you're going to get people who, they're ready to go.
Right.
They're saying, you know what, let's talk. A lot of times you'll get a response is, yeah, let's talk. And that's where you reply, I've already private messaged you. Can't wait to get together.
Perfect. Okay. I love that. So we've broken down we've established that if you're going to if you want to use Facebook effectively, get more engaged on Facebook. And I love what you said. Either ask a question strategy, or just literally ask for things that you are sincerely interested in. I mean, it could be as simple as which movie is your favorite, this one or that one. You've had to pick one, right? You're saying anything. Just start with something you're interested in. Don't overthink it. Just start asking questions. Questions people can get answers to. Then you can ask maybe what's the best coffee shop in Seattle? That would be a hilarious one to ask in Seattle. Whatever it may be. The other one is pick 5. So go on Facebook every day, pick 5. Just go to your your feed in Facebook, see 5 different posts from friends that you can comment on in some way to show some appreciation or love, or go post something on their wall just to get more engaged. And then for the Facebook post, I'm not going to go to all the details, but again, there's the headline, there's the how you open it, and then of course there's the call to action. And again, if you want the notes from this, guys, if you want the exact notes, just text right now, text 470, or text the word get listings, all one word, get listings, to 470-428-7777, and Michael's team will get you that. And then we just covered, we also broke down exactly how to respond if it's less than a 10 and more than a 10 or more. And I love that you have it so systematized. This is just literally copy and paste, literally. So guys, as soon as this session is over, as soon as this interview ends, I would strongly encourage you, go on Facebook and try putting up this post. Put up this post. Like Michael said at the beginning, imagine coming to an online conference about getting listings and getting business while you're attending the conference.
There you go.
I'd love that.
I love it. And so Andre, let me even take it to the next level, right? So this is great for when we post. Now, how many agents who are listening to this have ever wondered or wished that their affiliate partners, like lenders and title company and warranty companies and closing gift people, would give them more referrals?
Right.
Well, in a lot of cases, all of them. So here's the beauty of this Facebook post is they could post this Facebook post on their Facebook. And here's what we've discovered is they actually can get better engagement than even a realtor, because it seems like it's kind of it's just a curiosity question for an insurance. We have an insurance agent in St. Louis, Dan Louise, who did this. And at last check, he had over 54 comments, 54 responses, and phenomenal conversations, because it was an insurance agent guy. And it's funny, on his page, there were a couple of posts from consumers, people who said, Dan, thanks for the referral of the realtor. We're not ready quite yet, but we'll call them. This is a Facebook post on his wall, right? So he's using it to refer his realtor partners. And just imagine if your inspector posts this, your warranty rep, your title company, your insurance agent, all the different affiliates that we use in the business.
So you can take this and send it to all your referral partners, just copy and paste it and put it on their Facebook wall. And you can actually, well, you know what I like about this? A lot of time our referral partners want to send us more referrals, but they forget or they don't think of it. They're doing business. You actually make it easy for them to say, hey, I've got a really easy way for you that you could send me referrals. How would you like just copy and paste this Facebook post? Here's how you're going to respond and engage with it. You just copy and paste.
That's right.
And by the way, it's probably business for both of us, because if somebody's got to sell a home, we're going to get business out of it. But if you post it, it's even a little bit better because you're not a real estate agent. That's actually
that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's a really clever way to get more referrals for both of you guys, more business for both of you.
Absolutely. And here's the other thing. It's private, right? So they could post this, and even if they're referring you all the business, they don't lose business from all their other realtor partners, because, they don't know, what has happened with those referrals, right? So it's one of those where, even those 10s that come through and those people that are interested, that person can refer them out while still saving face with all the others in the agent community, right? Gotcha. It was your idea. Of course, it should generate business for you,
right?
But it's also not, it's not overt that he's sending all that business to you.
I like that. That's a really great advanced little ninja hack.